There have been remarkable changes in paints and construction chemicals in the last 1 decade. Many in the industry would say these are not just remarkable changes but tectonic changes because it has changed the game for real estate sector. We have been covering real estate accessories industry, especially construction chemicals and paints, and we have been covering international players. But today we have an Indian player, a large one, Threesons, based in Bangalore, and I'm actually at their factory floor in near Electronic City. The director of the company, Siddarth Somarajan, is with us to talk about how SME players in construction chemicals and paints cater to real estate developers and architects. Thank you so much, Mr. Somarajan, for being with us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Let me cut to the chase.
Right.
What is happening, in the last decade has been quite a remarkable thing in terms of how paints and construction chemicals have almost overlapped each other.
Of course.
Now that you are a company which is involved in not just this but also in epoxy formulations and industrial paints, what is your outlook on this? How do you think the past has been and how do you think the future will pan out when two things overlap, the paints and the construction chemicals, especially to do with waterproofing and those kind of things?
Okay, well, that's a good question. So the past decade has been a really interesting one. We had to go through the COVID pandemic, and a lot of things changed during that time. A lot of us were cooped up with our R&D labs to develop a lot of new kinds of formulations and coatings, which would of course betterment the society ahead. Now, to answer your question about the overlap between paints and waterproofing coatings, there is a huge change, demand, as well as new products being introduced in this market by paint companies.
True.
Simply because we can. We have the infrastructure, it is similar kinds of machinery necessary for the same, and so are the raw materials. I cannot say they are the same, but they do overlap, and that is what has made it possible for companies like us to enter the construction chemicals market. So we like to generally broadly call it as construction chemicals, chemical division, and we handle close to around 10 products under this division.
Okay.
Varying from acrylic based water based coatings, epoxy based water based coatings. Yeah, please go on.
Siddharth,
Yes.
I will come to your products specifically because that is of immense interest for our readers here as well as our viewers.
Okay.
But before that, when you talk about how things have come together, can you also tell us how will it pan out in the near future or in the mid-term or the long term when two things come together?
Okay.
And second most important thing, how will it benefit the end user, especially the architects and the developers?
Okay, well, in the near future and the future ahead, I think it is fair to say a lot more companies are going to enter this market. As I said, simply because people who are already manufacturing paints are definitely going to find this lucrative market and enter that as well. Okay, so to the end user, that would mean a lot more products. Ease of availability, of course, choice. And also, it could potentially reduce the cost.
Okay.
Of course. So that I think would be the biggest outcome for the end user. Furthermore, in the near future ahead, I think there are going to be a lot more new innovative products which the market hasn't seen yet and which can be game changers.
Okay.
So this could be potentially reducing downtime, reducing labor costs, and essentially application costs throughout.
Okay, I will come to the new technologies and new products in paints and construction chemicals. But before that, let me also ask you about how things have changed in such a way today, because many of the developers and architects would say that in projects which are very large, time is of essence. Okay,
you're right.
And that's when you say that you can save on money, it essentially comes down to the time that is saved, and hence the money is also saved in terms of interest rates, interest and all. Now in situation, do you think there will be a time where paints and construction chemicals will be coming together, all together?
I think it's fair to say that. Even right now in the market, you do have paints which are also branded as waterproof.
Correct.
You see, so I think that is already happening. So I think your answer lies within that. It's a pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's come to your variety of products that you have in the market today. Before that, let me also ask you, where all do you actually have your markets in? Is it only in Bangalore? Is it all over the country, or is it only South India?
I think we can say we are predominantly South India, but we also do cater to certain requirements up north in a couple of states.
Okay.
Like Maharashtra and Orissa too. So,
Orissa?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So, but apart from that, we are predominantly South Indian. We have a head office and manufacturing unit here. That is this lovely facility you are at.
Okay.
And we have two other facilities in Bangalore. And apart from this, we do have two of our facilities in Kerala. One in Cochin and one in Calicut. Kerala is a very important market for us, and we have two of our own offices over there too. The rest of Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu is handled by our super stockists, dealers and distributors, which we do have a good amount of market share there as well.
So now coming to your products and services that you give to your end consumer. So what are those products that you have? First of all, in paints, and second thing is about the construction chemicals.
Yeah, well, as an umbrella figure, I think I can say that our company operates in three major segments. First being decorative coatings, and second is industrial coatings, and the third being construction chemicals, construction care chemicals.
Okay.
So before we used to also split construction chemicals as only water-based waterproofing coatings and epoxy formulations, because we particularly specialize in epoxy formulations. But as we have been progressing ahead, we have realized it's fair to merge both.
Okay.
Yes. So these are our main divisions. Of course, we have a variety of products for various applications under each of them.
Okay. Now, can you tell us about the latest technologies which are come in paints and construction chemicals?
Wow, that's a discussion for a whole day, to be honest. But I don't know where to begin. Well, it depends.
You talk about, if you could tell us about the kind of benefits that come with it,
of course.
And then, go back into what kind of technologies are involved in such.
Of course, sure. So, I think, you see, paints is largely categorized as decorative or industrial.
Absolutely.
Now, decorative coatings make up close to 70 to 75% of the world market in paints.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the Indian market.
Okay.
Okay, and probably the 25% is industrial coatings. Now, they both have their own really great achievements in this last decade, and they have there are a lot of developments when it comes to, mainly in terms of DPUR, which is dirt pickup resistance, of course the elongations of coatings when it comes to waterproofing coatings.
Okay.
Reducing or rather eliminating VOCs, and just a general sustainable approach to putting a more conscious product out there in the market.
Okay.
So that is, I think, where it's headed. So those are the main benefits that I could say that anyone is being offered right now.
Before this interview, you were also talking about how technologies have come into other paints, especially in defense systems or in specified niche areas of bridge building, those kind of things.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that, especially in terms of urban infrastructure?
Of course. Now, you see, we do function in the defense sector as well as superstructure coatings. Now, this is a very interesting place to function because there's a lot of stringent quality standards to be met, and there are a lot of parameters to be met. Now, these are functional coatings, which essentially the coating has a particular purpose, Now this could vary from application to application, but what we are doing essentially are mainly epoxy based coatings for various purposes. Now both in defense as well as superstructure coatings. Here I'm not allowed to disclose rather what we're working on in the defense sector.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but in the superstructure coating, it is very interesting. It is mainly restoration of old and damaged structures. It can be from any field: oil and natural gas, paper, pulp, bridge coating, chemical industries, offshore, anything. So such kind of industries with where extreme levels of corrosion protection is necessary.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So those are the kind of few of the products that we do manufacture, and we also do have.
And how much does it elongate the life of the structure?
It depends upon what the end application is. Now, it's unfair to generalize.
Okay.
It's
mostly to do with seawater and that.
Of course, yes. It is mostly to do with extreme temperatures.
Oh.
Yeah, there is acid and alkali resistance.
Okay.
Yes, there is water resistance, and now of course we merge that with other PU coatings in order to make it UV stable as well. Yes. So there is a lot of work that we are doing right now in that particular sector.
Okay, Siddarth Somarajan, now also tell us how have the preferences of customers changed over time? Because India actually is a microcosm of the world itself, because what is prevalent in Northeast is not what is prevalent in North, is not what is prevalent in West. Every place is so different. In the South itself, the 4 different states have a completely different outlook or a profile. In terms of paints and construction chemicals, what is your reading of how the markets work in South India, where you dominate?
Well, if we're talking about how it was over the years, a lot of things have changed. Okay, like decision makers have changed essentially, and so it has become easier for us to penetrate the market is one thing that I've noticed.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because a lot of decision makers are now part, as you had told me earlier, are part of the millennial generation. So that is always, I think, has come to our benefit. They are more open to trying new things, new products, newer companies, and I also feel that, no offense to any baby boomers, but that they are more supportive of smaller businesses than any of the other generations. So that is one thing I have noticed.
Okay.
Second of all, South India has been, as you said, all the 4 states, they have different, flavors of their own.
Real estate developers would say each panchayat is different from the other.
Of course it is. I think I couldn't agree more. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, a few things have changed in over the years. Few of them being like coatings such as distempers and cement-based paints have almost gone out of the market, even from the rural markets. And people are going and moving towards emulsions altogether. So that's a good change, which is also going to give them better protection and etc.
Okay.
So that is one of the changes. When it comes to colors and preferences of products, that too is a complete different thing when it comes to South India. Now, most of our products are supplied as bases, and the end customer can tint it at the respective stores to the desired shade. But when we do execute projects, we tint it ourselves. So we do observe that cities, at least, try to go with neutral, minimalistic and simple shades and designs.
Okay.
And as you move a little away, I have noticed that people prefer it to be a little more flashy and a little more brighter shades.
In the rural areas?
Yes, definitely. That is an observation that I have.
It's reflective of our traditional colors and traditional
You are probably
palette of.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay.
So that is one thing when it comes to paints. When it comes to construction chemicals, that too has seen a drastic change. Now, first of all, the hesitancy has come down. A lot of people, even in rural areas, never used to use construction chemicals in the past. But it's good to see that they are taking to it. And if you were to if we were to host a particular event in a particular town or a village, a lot of the people involved in the construction sector would actually attend it. And they are open to trying newer technologies.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
So it is slow, gradual, and it's a change for the good.
Also, it might be it's driven by the requirement or
Definitely.
need for, because waterproofing is something which is
absolutely necessary, essential right now. And the rains last year was
two things which I wanted to point out. One thing is about how when it comes to the waterproofing, there was one end user, that is, he's an office occupier, leading office occupier in Mumbai. He was telling me that even in the Bandra Kurla complex, it's strange that buildings leak.
It is.
Which are supposed to be premium buildings, which is not, it's unheard of in US or any of the advanced countries. There you don't have offices walls leaking. But in India, it's quite common. So is that because of the because of the hesitancy of using construction chemicals, or is it because of the basic composition of the concrete and cement and all that being
well, it's a culmination of a lot of things.
Everything.
Yes. Well, to begin off with, I think first of all, there is an issue of costing in India as compared to other nations. Now, everybody wants the most cheapest, cost-effective, easiest way out. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So, what they fail to realize or understand is that choosing that way is going to end up giving them a bigger bill a few years ahead. So that's one of the issues. Second of all, also lack of experienced applicators.
Oh.
We at Threesons commonly say an applicator can make or break a product. And so, I have seen countless number of buildings and structures where essentially they have tried to waterproof the place, but simply because of the lack of the expertise in being able to do so has caused the product to fail. So this is common with all manufacturers, no matter big or small. And it's common and easy to transfer the blame to the manufacturer really fast. So that's one thing I have noticed as well.
Okay. The other thing which I would want to point out is quite a humorous thing. In terms of colors, there are architects who would say that when it comes to technical matters, all that, in the entire structure, everything, it's the architects and his team would take the final decision.
Yes.
But when it comes to paints and interiors, it's always the developer's wife who would come into it and say, this is the color should be, that is the curtain should be.
True.
So you have the same experience of dealing with customers of various kinds?
Yes, we do. And we don't try to bring in our opinions there at all. We've heard from our customers many a times to, you should suggest, you would know better, you've seen a lot more buildings, but we never go to give them our opinions on, no, you should go for this color, or you could try this. No, never.
It becomes a personal choice always,
It
right?
does, it is. And I think it should be as well. Yes, it's your living space. It should be as per your will and wish.
Absolutely. Okay, now is there a difference in the millennial architects and developers in terms of choice of products as well as applications?
Well, I already told you about how millennials are open to trying more new products, and there is a trend which I have noticed where the millennial architects or people in real estate are open to trying newer technologies.
Okay.
And we had a recent experience like that with a very famous builder down south, where we had recommended a single solution for an entire waterproofing application.
Okay.
And it worked out really well, and he was really happy.
Which location is this?
This was in Bangalore.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But when we had to pitch this to another firm, it unfortunately didn't go through. So they are definitely more eager and willing to try new products.